priority. Word of the day. Isaiah chapter 37, verse 1 to 7. When King Hezekiah heard this, he tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and went into the temple of the Lord. He sent Eliakim, the palace administrator, Shebna, the secretary, and the leading priests, all wearing sackcloth, to the prophet Isaiah, son of Amoz. They told him, "This is what Hezekiah says. This day is a day of distress and rebuke and disgrace, as when children come to the point of birth, and there is no strength to deliver them. It may be that the Lord your God will hear the words of the field commander, whom his master, the king of Assyria, has sent to ridicule the living God, and that he will rebuke him for the words the Lord your God has heard. Therefore, pray for the remnant that still survives." When King Hezekiah's official came to Isaiah, Isaiah said to them, "Tell your master, this is what the Lord says. Do not be afraid of what you've heard. Those words which the underlings of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Listen, I am going to put a spirit in him, so that when he hears a certain report he will return to his own country, and there I will have cut down with the sword." What difficult situation did King Hezekiah meet? This day is a day of distress and rebuke and disgrace, as when children come to the point of birth and there is no strength to deliver them. This text is an absolute crisis in which the Assyrian king invaded and conquered southern Judah in 701 BC. By threatening the city ahead of the last Jerusalem, and by attacking and demanding surrender. What was King Hezekiah's first attitude in the face of national crisis of Jerusalem's destruction? When King Hezekiah heard this, he tore his clothes and put on the sackcloth and went into the temple of the Lord. When Hezekiah encountered a difficult situation, the first thing he did was go to God with the problem. What is the Bible teaching us about anxiety? Matthew chapter 6, verse 27. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? There are people who say they are living a life of faith, but they cannot focus on God, but instead focus on the wrong things. It is because they have not tasted the real things that is given to those who trust only in God. Relying on God alone is the best solution in life. Prayer is not a theory, it's real. Hezekiah, who went to the temple of God, sends a messenger to the prophet to ask what? Therefore, prayer for the remnant that still survives. Hezekiah is asking a spiritual leader to pray. And one of the greatest blessings of having a faith community is that we can pray for each other. Is there anyone praying for you? Or are you praying for anyone? Isaiah prophesies the will of God to Hezekiah. What did he say? "Do not be afraid of what you have heard, those words with which the underlings of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Listen, I am going to put a spirit in him, so that when he hears a certain report, he will return to his own country, and there I will have him cut down with the sword." When Isaiah prayed and asked for intercession, God comforted him and gave him peace. But despite the promise, the situation got difficult. Say to Hezekiah, king of Judah, "Do not let the God you depend on deceive you when he says, 'Jerusalem will not be handed over to the king of Assyria.'" What did Hezekiah do when he walked in faith and the road was blocked? Hezekiah received the letter from the messengers and read it. Then he went up to the temple of the Lord and spread it out before the Lord, and Hezekiah prayed to the Lord. Now, O Lord, our God, deliver us from his hand, so that all kingdoms on earth may know that you alone, O Lord, are God. Isaiah chapter 37, verse 14, 15, and 20. Clinging to promises. What is the result of faith? When the angel of the Lord went out and put to death 185,000 men in the Assyrian camp. When the people got up the next morning, there were all dead bodies. Hezekiah's prayer was stronger than 185,000 Assyrians. I hope you will experience the amazing power of prayer yourself. Thank you.